spring amazing? Did you know different cultures welcome and celebrate spring in a variety of ways? What about you? What do you do? Personally, I like to take a stroll through nature, and I just so happen to work for Washington State Parks, so that works out pretty well. We've got parks all over the state, so I bet there's even one by you. With over 100 parks to choose from, there's bound to be one you'll enjoy. It's important to acknowledge the Native American people that have cultivated relationships with the lands, animals, plants, and waters since time immemorial. Before you grab your backpack and hit the trail, we encourage you to learn about the rich Native American heritage of your area. Here at Seaquest State Park, the lands we currently steward are that of the Cowlitz, the Klickitat, and the Upper Chinook.
Hi, my name is Leah. I love spending time outside exploring our parks. My favorite time is the spring, when nature comes to life before our very eyes. It's as if overnight, the trees unfurl their leaves, the flowers begin to bloom, and the birds become restless for warmer days ahead. But the truth is that nature is always alive. Even in the winter, when our vegetation appears brown and lifeless, our environment is in a constant state of recycling, a system that never stops.
Things grow and then they die and decompose, creating fresh new soil that starts the cycle all over again. I'm going to explore some of the parks near my home. I've brought my nature journal with me to write down signs of spring that I find today. I'm going to make sure to take the time today to draw what I see. I'm going to sit down and listen to all the sounds around me. I'll bring my magnifying glass to get a closer look at things. What do you say? Do you want to join me? All right, let's go. Good thing I brought my map. Let's see which way to go. I think, from what I can tell, it looks like we should go that way. Let's go. Whoa, did you see that? You know, I've heard that Bigfoot lives here. I love enjoying our state parks because every adventure is different. There's so much to explore.
And I love your attitude, Leah. Washington State Parks is happy to have you.
Where does she come from?
Hi there, my name's Ranger Alyssa, and I love spending time in our parks too. The next time you're out on our trails, I encourage you to engage all of your senses as you look, listen, smell, and touch the world around you. This is a great way to fully experience the great outdoors.
What are you doing, Ranger Alyssa?
Oh, hey there. Well, when you're outside, it's nice to crane your neck up to the canopy above you. Or maybe down to your feet to see life within the soil. Or sometimes side to side to see the vegetation and understory all around you. You know, Leah, this time of year, the plants are all leafing out. Everything is looking so full and healthy. But I bet you're wondering, why?
Well, my favorite part of spring is the sunshine. It makes me feel so warm and toasty. Is this how the plants feel too?
Yes, Leah, that's a great guess. It's because ideal conditions are available in order for the plants to grow. The weather, such as rainfall, provides them the water that they need. And the longer days means that the air temperature and soil temperature increases from the warmth of the sun.
Nature is so neat. Nature.
Well, If you listen closely, you might hear bird song all around, or the wind rustling through the branches, or little animals scurrying through the underbrush. These are all signs of spring, increased activity all around. You know, a lot of folks around here are birders, and they like to celebrate spring migration. Did you hear that?
Hey, there it is.
That's right. Well, when the woodpeckers get noisy, you know spring is in the air. Around here, we have pileated, hairy, downy, northern flickers, and sapsuckers. And in the spring, they all start drumming. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Oh, okay, that kind of drumming. To both announce their territory and to attract the attention of other woodpeckers so they can make friends.
Boop, 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 boop. Friends? Woodpeckers have friends?
Yeah, like special friends that they eat meals with and start a family with. I've always heard it's something to do with the birds and the bees.
Look, a bee!
Wow, look what you found, a pollinator. This time of year, the hummingbirds, the butterflies, and the bees are out in abundance, helping to pollinate all the flowers. They go from flower to flower, spreading the pollen. That way we have more plants in the future. Oh, I wouldn't touch it. I think bees fall in the category of do not touch. Now just remember, there's some things you should be cautious about coming into contact with. Here's another one. The stinging nettle. They've been shooting up all over the place. These plants right here, these are the stinging nettle.
Ouch! I've touched those before. They hurt. Do animals actually eat these, and how?
That's a great question, Leah. Yes, they actually do. Deer in particular eat the stinging nettle. It's a trick I like to call the nettle burrito. It's exactly what it sounds like. They use their long tongue to roll the nettle leaf, just like rolling a tortilla for a burrito. As they roll it, all the stinging hairs that would cause the pain are wrapped on the inside. Then down the hatch it goes. Delicious. In fact, humans can eat nettle too. When it first comes up and it's fresh and young, it's really quite tasty, like cooked spinach. And the interior and coastal tribes have been using nettle for a very long time. Even the fiber is important. You can make snares, fish nets, and straps. Now remember, when you're out enjoying our parks, please try not to over-harvest any of the foods you're foraging for, and don't eat things you're unfamiliar with. Make sure you're with somebody who's pretty knowledgeable about the plants and animals in the area.
The birds, the bees, the nettle, pollinators. Let's go sit down for a second and review what Ranger Alyssa taught us. Ranger Alyssa and I talked about our senses. We talked about what we could see, hear, touch, smell. I don't think we covered that yet. We talked about how all the plants are growing, the birds are really active, and the pollinators are busy bees. Oh, hey, what are you looking at?
Oh, right over there, there's a raccoon.
Oh.
Yeah, right there.
Over where?
Right there.
Over where? Where does she keep going? Yeah, what is that smell? It smells like something's rotting out here. Ew.
Well, hey there. You must be smelling the amazing western skunk cabbage. Here I am sitting in a marsh where they grow, where the mud is, and you also noticed its lovely pungent aroma. Isn't that great? Man, this thing's good. Take a look at these leaves. They're humongous. They also go by the name swamp lantern because of the way that their flowers look. In fact, they're one of the first flowers to emerge in the spring. But that time has come and gone. So let's see a picture of what that looks like. Boop! That's because they have the remarkable ability to produce their own heat and bloom even when the ground is cold and frozen. This is a trait called thermogenesis.
Wow, they're their own personal heaters. Can I feel the heat too?
That's a great question, Leah. For starters, you probably noticed all the insects flying about. I mean, they're everywhere. That's because of the skunk cabbage. A remarkable process is going on at work right now. The skunk cabbage emit a strong smell and it attracts pollinating insects. The pollinating insects come by and they go from flower to flower, both warming themselves and pollinating the next plant over. It's kind of like hikers on a long journey, taking a rest before the next leg of their hike. This looks good. Oh, how cute. There's a little frog in here. He picked a great spot, staying warm from the air, constantly rising up and out of the flower. This plant is really important for people too, especially our local tribes. They're incredibly valuable for their use as wax paper, for lining berry baskets, steaming pits, and drying racks.
All the flowers and plants are blooming. So I drew what the skunk cabbage would look like when it was in bloom in early spring. Blech. Let's go find some flowers that smell better. Wow, look at this beautiful purple flower. I wonder what it is.
That's a great question, Leah. This is called salmonberry. It's one of the first berries to ripen in the springtime, and it's an important food source for the plants and the animals. As a fair warning, it tastes good, but it's rather bitter.
Salmon. Look at these delicate leaves. Oh, and these tiny blooms. I wonder what this could be.
This, my friend, is called red huckleberry. By summertime, little red berries adorn this entire bush. They're sweet and so delicious. This is actually really important to the indigenous people. They harvest them in large quantities, eat them fresh, dry them, and store them for later.
Why does she keep disappearing? What are you up to?
Oh, hi there, Leah. I'm just sitting here admiring this beautiful western trillium flower. Isn't it gorgeous?
It is.
Wow. It's also called the wake robin, because it's one of the first flowers to emerge in the springtime, by the same time that the robins come out. Oh, to be a trillium. Now, most folks recognize a trillium flower when it's white. Let me show you a picture of that here. Boop! But once it's been pollinated by the insects in the area, it eventually turns pink and sometimes purple.
The trillium was so beautiful, I just had to draw it myself. We've discovered a lot of spring plants, like the salmonberry, the red huckleberry, the western trillium, and the stinky skunk cabbage. What was that? Give me the creeps.
I think you might have seen a snake.
A snake?
Yeah, this time you had the ectotherms, or the cold-blooded animals, come out to sunbathe with the sun.
Sunning.
Yeah,
Is that what they do?
yeah, sunbathing.
I love sunbathing.
Yeah, okay. Oh, look at that, you found some earthworms. They're helping to break down the soil.
Oh, cool. I'm gonna have to add that to my journal.
Oh, hi there. I see you've noticed the fertile soil all around. Now remember, this stuff is really important, so don't treat it like dirt. Throughout the year, All the trees have deposited leaves down onto the ground, and there's nutrient recycling, right in time for the spring growth.
Wow, there really is something everywhere we look. We just learned that decomposers break down the forest litter all around us, and we got to see earthworms.
Don't forget about me. I break down the soil too. I found a snail. Come take a look. It's butterfly, darner, and dragonfly season. So I've got my handy dandy field guide, and I'm gonna look around and see what I can see. I have a feeling most of them are out in the meadow this way. Let's go find them.
Wow, she's like a squirrel. Look at all that energy.
I don't think I'm gonna catch anything with holes that big.
Wow, we've learned that pollinators are flying everywhere. And we even saw Ranger Alyssa trying to find some butterflies. Wow, look what I found. It's robin eggs blue. I bet it's from a crow.
Actually, I think that's from an American robin. Another sign of spring is baby season. Birds in particular build their nests, lay their eggs, and raise their young. This is evidence of that behavior. And don't forget about all the baby animals. They're out there too. The next time you visit our parks, please be careful about the deer babies, squirrel babies, raccoon babies, frog babies, turtle babies, snail babies, slug babies, coyote babies, fox babies, bear babies, berry babies, tadpole babies, frog babies. Lots of babies. There's lots of babies.
We saw so many signs of spring today. We learned to use our senses to explore. We learned that birds are migrating right now. Woodpeckers are even making new friends. New plants are growing. Animals and people are foraging from these plants that are popping up. Flowers are blooming for pollinators. And our decomposers are busy, like our friend the worm. And of course, there are so many baby animals. Thank you for joining us today. Spring offers endless inspiration to painters, foragers, photographers, outdoor enthusiasts of all kinds. Come join us and celebrate spring. Use all of your senses at a park near you.
The birds are busy, busy, busy.